السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت فلك الحمد على ما قضيت نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, we will start now. We will have a break for Maghrib prayer and come back because the time is so in the middle. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna alayna lil-huda. Guidance is upon us. So we provide guidance. God provides guidance in many ways. Our Creator provides guidance in many ways. How? Of course, what we understand from guidance, anyone who would like to roughly define what guidance is? No? So we always say in the prayer, in each unit of the prayer, we say, "Ihtina sirata mustaqim," guide us. What are we asking? To do what? Anyone? No one? Okay.
The first thing there are two things that come to my mind. One is, from my own perspective, the need to be guided, which means that acknowledging that I am in need of guidance, basically, that I need to be led somewhere where I'm struggling to get.
For example, where are you struggling to get?
So in this, I guess with the particular verse that you quoted earlier, the Sirat al-Mustaqim part, personally, it is developing a understanding of my existence that, I guess, puts me in tune with my reality.
Yep. It's okay. My reality. Can you explain what your reality is? Not, of course, my reality. What do you mean by reality? Roughly. What do you mean our reality? What do you mean by my reality or human reality? What do you mean by it?
Well, you said roughly speaking.
Yeah, of course, we are not really
right.
Trying to get the either dictionary definition or theologically consistent and complete definition of reality. Our reality, not the reality, our reality. Let's be more practical.
I would say the truth, at its core, like facts, truth.
Well, the truth, everybody says what I say, what I do is based on truth, according to them. What is our reality? Shall we change the audience?
Yeah,
the speaker here.
To me, guidance means, like for example, I observe in my life that everything around me, including myself, is in constant motion. It's moving. Things are dynamic and moving, and I am moving within it, and guidance to me represents, like, in that movement, what is my path in this flow? And my path is, in who I am is my particular path. It's unique to me. And it's about finding the signs or finding the guidance that leads me to who I am, as my life continues to sort of.
Yeah. Can we use our historical expression saying that I need guidance as far as my existential concerns are concerned. So it is human need, asking the question, what does existing mean for me? And what is the meaning of this kind of existence? What is the purpose in this kind of existence? What is that? What's going on in this world? Although, because of the familiarity, we just think that, where is the world? Come on, I was born in such and such date. Yeah, everybody's crazy about his birthday. So in that day, I don't know, what are they going to do with the birthday? You are here. And what does it mean for you? This is a very fundamental human question, asking the meaning of existence, and particularly my existence. What does it mean? What does it mean to exist for me in this world? Why am I here? How am I here? Why am I here? These are the fundamental questions of human beings, but we may not ask these questions because we take our existence and the existence of the things around for granted. That's what we are. So what we do now, we found existence already provided for us. And how can I deal with this life now? How can I have a better life standard? Yeah. Until I die, but no one says until I die. So we have to have a life standard, good life standard. So I have to prepare myself for 20, 30 years to have a better life standard. And after another 30 years, I will become a retired man and pointless. It is very disappointing if we think about it. But usually what we do, we don't think. And we don't think at the same time that what we understand from the general word, very general word, if you call it generic word, religion, we say, okay, while we are in this world, so we have to have some sort of spiritual connection with a source which makes my life a little bit meaningful, so that I will get over my concerns. Because although we don't really seriously concentrate on the purpose of our existence, but at the same time, we have some sort of clues that, this world cannot be meaningless. There must be a purpose, and it is the fact that I'm going to die, and this universe must have a maker or something. And religion says the world is created by something which is called God. So God orders you to do this and to do that in order to secure your life after death, if there is something, there is such a thing. To be on the secure, you park your car in a non-parking place. Yes, let's hope that the world shouldn't see it. If you get a ticket, I was expecting it. If you don't get a ticket, I'm lucky. This kind of attitude we have, very loose and not very well established understanding of existence, very loose. And we find a kind of relaxed a kind of security, not real security, by following a religion. But some people say, why should I should enjoy myself. All right. But the fundamental problem for a person who follows a certain religious tradition, as well as the people who follow not a tradition, who don't follow any religious tradition, we don't take our existence seriously, and we don't question it. It's not our problem. We may question from time to time when the things go wrong. Why am I suffering from this? What is the purpose? This kind of concerns. But if everything goes well, what do? Have a good day. Bye-bye. You know, every day we say to our day, bye-bye. Good. Okay, I will have another day. I will live another day. Now, we need guidance to our existential questions. And this verse says, it is for us, on us, to provide guidance. Of course, here, who's speaking by definition? Who's speaking? I'm not saying by definition. We have to investigate. We have to be satisfied with it. That's why, by definition, this text says, I am the speech of your creator. So, as it is, the claim of the nature of the text itself, we have to understand it is upon us, for us to provide guidance, means God says, I provide guidance for you. But the only thing is, you need guidance. Do we need guidance? When everything's go right, do you really bother? Why everything is going right? Why? How? Everything is provided for me. How? When we are in trouble, we question. If we are not in trouble, but sometimes the trouble emerges not only in the present time. What do I mean? For example, everything is fine with you, but you know that you're getting old, and lots of things are waiting for you. You have to get good job. You have to get married. How are you going to take the responsibility? And you say, I'm not ready for it. I don't know. I don't want to commit. Because it is not everybody's aim, you know, to have a proper understanding and meaningful life, understanding of life, and meaningful life. What we do, because of the anxiety of the future, we may have problems, although for the moment everything's fine with me. Yeah, I have shelter, I have certain income, and everything's fine with me. But the future, the unavoidable problem is, I don't know, I'm going to die and what will happen? I have no idea what will happen. How am I going to deal, how am I going to prepare myself for it? So some people, there are two options. Some people say, I don't know what will happen after I die. It may not be true at all. We may just die away and rot away, you know. Or some people say, no, it's not really likely. What should I do now? Concentrate on religious duties rather than questioning, looking for the wisdom in our creation and making sense out of our existence, meaningful sense, and be excited with it. It's very rare. It is very rare. But usually what people do, either ignore it or just it's kind of bargaining or businessman like. Okay, I will do all this. If there is something in the hereafter, I will secure my life after I die. But the responsibilities of this world, we think, we imagine, what am I going to do in the next 10, 20 years? Usually people may have no problem now, but I see that. But because of their anxiety in the future of this worldly life, they may be depressed. And they start, they get, to me, what I understand from here, they get frustrated. And out of this frustration, they start questioning, why am I in this position? Why I have to do all this? Because they have no hope. No hope for what? No, for the life, this world life. In the hereafter, go into the religious responsibilities. It means do's and don'ts. Not necessarily to make sure that I am confident in my understanding of my existence, so that I will arrange my life accordingly. That's why this instability in our life occurs. That's what I understand from my experience. Because the foundation is not established well, the worries, the anxieties trouble me about two things: the rest of my life in the world, and a possible thing may happen after I die, if I am resurrected. So I have to make sure. Go into religious section or religious activities is very easy. You do it and you are done. You think you are done. In fact, it is not. But you do it, you pray, how many rakats? 10 rakat, 20 rakat, whatever. I did, Allah Akbar. And I did, and you are done. That's it. The life after death is secure. I'm not stealing, I'm not drinking or alcohol, I'm not gambling, I'm not doing the major sins. Okay, what's wrong with me? I'm ready for the hereafter. That's done. But still, life in this world may be a source of worry. You understand? How are we going to solve the problem? Come to our reality and really try to make sure why I am here. And then you can adjust your life accordingly, but the foundation must be solid and we must be certain about it. And this verse says, I will guide you in this matter. Not to prepare yourself for the hereafter, not to prepare yourself for the next part of your life until you die. No. I will give you guidance for your essential questions, concerns, and it is me who is going to do it. No one else can do it. Do we understand that no one else, nothing else can give me guidance? For example, the universe itself is a guide, right? But if you don't, but everything is happening here, giving you news, giving us news, providing us, this is good, this is bad, this is meaningful, this is beautiful, whatever. But if we don't attribute this universe to a conscious being who is revealing himself to me, then the universe, the guidance of the universe is only good for you. I don't know how to deal with the problems of this world, but material problems of this world. Not your essential answers to your essential questions. the universe. But unless it is attributed to a conscious being as a means of introducing himself to you. Did you get it? As a means of introducing. Why? If you look at the universe as a means of introduction of the Creator's qualities to you, you can be absolutely sure to whom you belong and be certain about it. Do you understand this at all? A little bit, maybe we need to think about it. Do you understand the last point? No. Who understood it? Somehow? Somehow? Yeah? Okay, what did you understand?
From what I understand, like really very limited.
Whatever
trying
it
to
is.
understand it. So the universe is a message. It's communicating something. And so if I have this attitude of communicating with the universe in a way where I try to work out or investigate where the qualities are coming from. So when I interact with something, I experience something, I get some kind of feeling. So if I am able to point those feelings to something not from this universe, then I may be getting somewhere, and that's where I need to seek guidance that, hey, what is all this meant for?
But we passed that. Now, the last point was, if you see that the universe is the means of introduction of its creator to you, and look at everything, you feel absolutely sure about your existence, the meaning of your existence. Do you understand that? Do you? Do you understand? No. Do you? No.
I understand the framework, but I still think that in understanding this logic, you're not necessarily getting the meaning.
Now you are getting the meaning because the universe is the action-wise, not verbally, action-wise introduction of its creator to you.
I guess
its qualities.
If I was to put this in an example, like if you said, I'm going to tell you a secret, I said, okay, I know that you will tell me a secret, but I don't necessarily know the secret. So what I'm trying
it's
to
nothing script. I don't know why do you go there.
Okay, let's say you're going to tell me, I don't know, how does a flower grow, and I don't know that currently. But
if you attribute the existence of this universe to a conscious being, then the universe becomes a, if you like, means of introduction of its creator to you. So when you look at a flower, you say the creator of this flower is providing my need for beauty. So I trust him. So he knows me because the beauty of the flower is appreciated by your quality, human quality. So it is in you. So you feel secure now in your existence. I belong to this creator of the flower. So if he provides not only nourishment, which he does, the universe presents me the nourishment, it's telling me that my creator knows you, your need. Universe provides air for you, my creator knows you. You need an air. That's why we are in opposite side, put in harmony with the universe. What do you mean by opposite side? Universe, let's make it simple first. Flower is a little bit more difficult. A little, you can understand. Food is there. I cannot create food. And what I have? Hunger, need for food. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Look, the one who created the universe takes care of me. It's amazing. So you start feeling secure, we will continue. Excellent. In your existence. Worry-free. It's very simple. Very simple. Not complicated. You don't have to have a philosopher. So you need a fresh air, a beautiful scenery, right? It is there. Provided for you. But what we do, we don't see them. Why? Because obsessed by getting a job, securing our future, and having a regular, substantial income, being independent, self-sufficient in your financially self-sufficient, not your existence. No one thinks about the existence really. So financially self-sufficient, I'm fine. Of course, the human need cannot be restricted to that area. It is very, very limited. Everything is meaningful in our existence, in the existence of the universe. They are mutually complementary, but from the opposite directions. From the opposite directions. Do you understand that? From the opposite directions. For example, I need mercy. The treatment of the universe by its creator treats me in a merciful way. Right? But exceptional cases, I need health, but health is not provided always. Sometimes, occasionally, you may have some problems, but these are the means of realization, becoming aware of what is going on. We cannot take the universe as standard. You know, you have to be healthy, your food must be ready, your shelter must be provided. No. We have to look for it, ask for it, but it is given to us, fundamentally. Fundamentally means essentially given to us. If there is some human interference, these are exceptional cases. For example, people you may put the cat in a cage and don't give any food, cat dies of hunger. Understand? But if you leave the cat in the street, it doesn't. It knows much better than I do how to survive. So, but exceptional artificial reasons that put our life into trouble. Otherwise, as far as our essential needs are concerned, we understand that we are needy. The creator of the universe is providing the need. By providing the need, giving me security. I know you. Right. That's why inna alayna lil hidayah, it is for us to provide guidance. The first and very practical guidance is the universe. We have to utilize it. We have to question what's going on in me, what is going on in the universe. If you question it, you get the answer. Apart from this, an extra information is given to us. We call it revelation, employed by the prophets and transferred through the prophet to us, and telling us do this and don't do that. But this is just sorry?
It's a confirmation.
Confirmation of what you are what you are supposed to get from the creation. In a verbal explanation. But if someone is very religious and traditional religious, they may say, no. Quran comes first. Without the Quran, you cannot understand the universe. No, if you ask the question, you can get it. You don't need the Quran. But where you need the Quran, where you are not very sure, it's a verbal explanation, and put into practice by the Prophet, and Prophet was a human being like you and me. But practicing the guidance of God in the best form. We should never forget this, so that I can benefit from the best form of exemplary lifestyle, from the lifestyle understanding, of course. But we cannot understand the Prophet's thinking by narrations. How can you understand? How can we understand what the Prophet was really having the answers to his existential questions? Do you think he has some problems? He had some problems concerning the existential questions? Yeah. How did he get it? Sorry?
Because he had them.
Sorry?
Because he had those problems and those questions.
Yep.
Because he asked.
And he was given the guidance in verbal form. But now we understand that verbal form is the explanation of the guidance that we find in the universe. For example, God says, I am all powerful. How do we know? Look at the universe. God says, I am merciful. How do you know? Look at the universe. God says, I am very patient with you. How do you know? Look at the treatment of the order of the universe. Right? And God says, I am compassionate to you. God says, I treat you with justice. Look at the word. How it is, how our relationship with the universe is based on justice. Right? If I go really beyond the limits, I get harmed by the order of the universe. So I said, that God is just. Gives me what I need, exactly. No more, no less. But of course, our ambitions, our greed, we want to fill up our refrigerator and bank account, something like this is artificial. But if we lived in a very, I'd say, natural way, as we are created here in the nature as it is, just put the seed, you get 1,000 times more. Simple. If you don't put the seed, you don't get. Isn't it? So for example, if you have 1 or 2 sheep or cow, that's it. They reproduce. They reproduce. It becomes, in 10 years' time, you have a herd. Isn't that true? Multiply. But if you don't have this, if you don't have the attempt, which is called in the language of the Quran is kisb. Kisb, acquisition. You have to acquire something. By how? How do you acquire? By obeying the order of the universe through your experience. God doesn't tell you how to do farming. God doesn't tell you verbally, doesn't tell you how to breed animal, for example. No, doesn't tell you this. But it says, look at the bee, honeybee. It is employed for you to give you what you need. Look at the cow. It is employed for you to give you milk, meat, skin. It's employed by the one who established the order of the universe. It's very simple. So we understand that guidance is there. But in the Quran, the most of the Quran, the majority of the theme of the Quran is related to how to deal with human emotions. human senses, how to manage with them. All the prophetic stories, all the descriptions of the ancient tribes, although we don't know them, are to be understood in order to really educate, in order to train, no, in order to perfect your way of dealing your senses. How am I going to develop your way of dealing? Yeah, your senses. So don't read the stories of the prophets that his story telling me. For example, oh, you know, the people in South Arabian Peninsula, and there was the tribe of, I don't know, Midians, for example. Midians were living next to the tribe of Lot. Yes, Lot. And the Shu'aib, the prophet Shu'aib reminds the Lot, reminds his Midian tribe, says, you know that what happened to Lot? Of course, and then lots of explanation. How do they know? Because it was close to it, and place-wise, geographically close, and also historically close, the destruction of Lot. The people knew it. People knew it. If you are going because you want to pray, we will pray. Okay, we will go to pray soon now, after we finish this verse. So they give this example, but I don't know where Lot lives, and I don't know. Anytime any volcano erupts everywhere, so it doesn't mean that it's a special reminder for the people. We don't know. So what I have to do there, I have to get the lesson. I apply it to our life. We are trying to understand this, how to do it how to benefit from the stories of the prophets in order to educate or what you said, develop our human senses, how to deal with them. What are we going to do with them? So read the Quran from this perspective, everything changes. You understand that mostly in the Quran, our Creator teaches us how to deal with our feelings, with our emotions, how to put them in the right place, use them in the right place. Mostly. And also from time to time, quite frequently, but not mostly, refers to the evidence of the universe and puts very rarely some regulations as far as the social life is concerned, which is called Sharia, but very rarely, very rare, very about 3% of the verses of the Quran related to Sharia. Just 3%, 97% of it, human education, training, how to deal our emotions, our feelings, how to really make sense of the meaning of my being. This is also provided by my Creator through universe, through revelation, spoken guidance, and through the representation of the prophet, representation of this guidance, verbal guidance, in the form of a human being. There are three main sources that provided for us by our Creator. We have to unite them together. What is difficult? How to benefit from the exemplary life of the prophet. But mostly, it is unfortunate that the tradition reduces the exemplary life of the prophet to what he did Well, I don't know how to take here. Just I read some others today. So there are maybe 20 pages of description, narrations, how the Prophet was taking a bath. One is enough, man. Not 20 pages. I was really, I was determined to read everything without missing, without skipping. Otherwise, I wouldn't read it again. It's so simplistic. But reducing the exemplary life of Prophet to showing me how to take a bath. And they say this is the Sunnah. But what is going on in the mind of the Prophet? Which kind of satisfaction he had in his life, security he felt, as far as his existence is concerned, you cannot find it in hadith narrations. Impossible. Because people cannot narrate it. The Prophet was feeling this. How are we going to take this guidance through? Sorry?
Other sources of
What are they?
verse.
And revelation. So you have to study the Quran first. So I'm not saying the mission of the Prophet is not to teach you how to take a bath, which we have to understand. Do you understand this? Mission of the Prophet is not really to teach me how to take care of my teeth. He's not an, I don't know, hygiene expert, or how are they called?
Hygienist.
Sorry?
Hygienists.
Hygienist. What he was doing that is quite normal. Just once. There are 72, somebody I read, I didn't count it, somebody said, there are 72 narrations about using the toothbrush from the Prophet. 72. No one mentions about the feeling of the Prophet, how he felt secure in this world.
Did anyone even ask him that? Like, would, I don't know, the companions who would hang out with him, would they kind of directly ask him?
Asking what?
How does he feel secure in his existence? Or
No,
they would just-
this is from the Quran. This is from the Quran. So if you know the main teachings of the revelation, you can refer it to the light of the Prophet saying that he was doing this because of this and because of this, understanding. But you cannot, can you transfer, narrate my understanding, how I feel in my existence? How do I feel secure in my existence? We have to understand this. We shouldn't reduce the Prophet to his physical actions only. Why? Because he was the prime or primary student of the Quran. And you cannot narrate what he understood from the teachings of the Quran.
So just knowing that he was a primary student of the Quran, I'm thinking, so all the companions went, I don't want to use the word crazy, but like, you know, recording every of his actions without even knowing what the man is feeling inside.
They can't. Because you can narrate my physical actions. Say, you can say, for example, Ali was wearing a sweater. You can say, and when he was speaking, he used his hand mimics or whatever you call it. Gestures. And his voice is getting worse and worse every day as he gets old. Do you understand? That's outward form. You cannot translate what I feel in my heart, in my feelings. How do I feel confident in my existence? We have to understand this.
So the best one can do is use the Quranic message
Yeah.
and sort of make the practical side live. under the light of
apply it, because don't expect from the narration that the narration will tell you how the Prophet felt while he was doing this. You have to learn from the Quran and apply it to the inexplicable side of the Prophet's understanding, but from the Quran. Because the Quran makes this education, human training, the training of human beings. How do we really properly use our human feelings? If you use this without losing yourself in the physical description of the Prophet's narrations of the life of the Prophets in the Quran, don't lose yourself in the physical description of the narrations of the Quran. But from there, always look, what does it mean for me? What does it mean for me? Yeah, what does it mean for me? Don't say the prophets performed miracles. I cannot perform miracles, but try to understand the meaning of miracles. What do they represent?
Do we even need the practical side? Now I'm trying to understand if the Quranic message is what matters, and you cannot really get anything from anyone's action. But obviously, we're talking about the prophetic actions, so we have to make the connection of the Quran with that.
But prophetic actions must have a meaning behind it, and the meaning must be learned from the Quran. So otherwise, if you look at the narrations of the Hadith narrations as it appears to be in the books, you get nothing. You just become crazy of, no, the Prophet was, you know what he did? He combed his right side of his head first, and then the left side of his head. So he took the water with his right hand. It's very fresh. I studied today, that's why. The water from right hand and put it on the left shoulder. I am under the shower. There is no left. I am not in desert. It's full of water everywhere. How can I make it? You know, I will put my right shoulder and put my head. Don't be ridiculous. It is not the point. But the people took the physical appearance practices of the Prophet and made sunnah out of it.
I was wondering, the reason why people were recording all his actions is because they knew that this man is a messenger. So you have to first be convinced about that.
Yeah, but their understanding of messenger depends on their capacity. How am I going to benefit from the life of the Prophet? I have to combine the narrated actions of the Prophet with the teachings of the Quran, give a substantial foundation to it. But you cannot find it in hadith, you cannot find it in fiqh books.
All right, that makes sense.
You understand, you have to study the Quran carefully in order to give you real guidance to really cope with your human problems. And then come and look at the narrations, and you may try to understand what it means. But don't forget that people who narrated these kind of things, there is an historical reason for it. People people accepted the authority of Medina administration, right? And they became a member, if you like, citizen of Medina administration. Citizen of Medina administration. Now, what they needed now, they needed what to do. I am a citizen now. For example, there are US students here, right? Have you studied Constitution? Have you read Constitution? How can you be a citizen without knowing what the Constitution is? It means the foundations of this administrative body. So you are a citizen. What do? As far as you are concerned, you follow the law. As far as you are concerned, okay? But whatever the subject or whatever the lifestyle you do, or if you are driving, you look at, you are careful about speed limit and whatever. You know, the red light, green light, this kind of things. For example, there are some laws which are not related to your life, you ignore them. But being a Muslim, taking this example, being really submitting yourself to the teachings of or the guidance of the Creator, you have to know the Constitution. Accordingly, you have to deal with your life according to the directions that you learn from the Constitution. That's why we have to study the Constitution of the teachings, which is the Quran. And we have to put ourselves in connection with the, especially how the Quran teaches me to deal and to develop, to improve my human qualities. How the Quran teaches me. So if we don't pay attention to the teachings of the Quran as far as training, taming, improving your human qualities, you learn historical stories. And most of the commentators are full of historical stories. Right? Inshallah, without this, definitely, apart from your Creator, no one can give you guidance. But as the Quran says, their guidance will be conjecture, depending on life experience limited, time and space. And it may be right, it may be wrong. So you have to question first the origin of your existence and say, look, these questions must be answered by the one who originated my existence. How? You have to work on it. But at least in principle, we have to make sure that apart from my Creator, no one can give me universal guidance in order to deal with my feelings, in order to improve my emotions, feelings, understanding, and then feel secure in my life. That is the purpose of studying the Quran in this class. That's my main concern. I don't talk about what to do and how to take a bath. No, I don't. You may think, we were taking a bath from a container. Okay. In America, I don't think anybody takes bath from a container. Everyone shower. And well, you get lost. And I'm a little bit disappointed today. The section I read about wudu in the collection of Muslim.
I have a question, but before I ask, do you want to take the break? Or?
Well, ask the question.
I wrote down my question, I won't forget.
Okay, when we come back, we'll talk about it. I think we have to pray and come back quickly. I hope everybody is ready. So we will pause here. How do you pause?
To click on the mic.
This one.
Yeah.
It disappears.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, mic and the
Okay. Okay. Now, assalamu alaikum again. We are back.
So my question is, if I take guidance to be inclusive of not just the answer, but also the method that allows me to get to the answer. So that's what my understanding of guidance is. I asked myself, is guidance subjected to my interpretation? And naturally seeking as well. So I have to look for the answer and as well as interpret the method appropriately for me to be able to recognize the answer. Once these, let's say, given that these two statements are true, how can my interpretation be eternal or universal to my existence?
No, can't be. No one's interpretation can be universal and eternal. It is bound to be subjective, according to your capacity, according to your concerns, working on how much you developed your potentialities and turn it into abilities. That is limited to you. Your interpretation is yours, my interpretation is mine. No, there is no universal interpretation. But the universe itself revealing universal guidance. Quran is revealing universal guidance. When I take it, excuse me, it is bound to be limited to my capacity. The scholars made it very simple by giving an example. Sun's light is everywhere. Everybody gets the sunlight according to his own capacity of his mirror. So, typical example again, ocean is there. You can get the water from ocean as much as your capacity, your cup. You cannot get the whole ocean, but you can get from the ocean, depending on how much you work on it.
So, like, I was hoping that this was the answer, because then that means that I am continuously in search for a new, not necessarily new, a more enhanced, developed interpretation, because my previous interpretation will not fit.
Isn't that the reality of our existence? Whatever your profession is, what do you do? You start from scratch, you start from beginning. The more you concentrate on it, you learn, the better you grasp the subject, whatever subject you are studying. That's everywhere. No one questions that. But when it comes to religion, what we want to do? We want to claim universality. We want to claim absolutism. We want to, my religion is absolute right. Maybe it is there, but you cannot say that I have that absolute answer. Impossible. You can get the answer according to your level of education, in your questioning and getting the answer, training yourself. You cannot go beyond your capacity. We have to admit that.
Follow-up question. So let's say to my very last moment of being able to, or having another opportunity to interpret a more refined understanding.
Don't you experience in your own life?
Yeah.
For example, 20, 30 years ago, what I understood, it is so ridiculous. What I wrote on my book, or tafsir, or the commentaries on the Quran explanations, when I look at them, they look ridiculous. Did I really think that they were important so that I recorded them? I'm sure if Allah gives me longer life, 10 years later, I write, always write. What I found in a verse, or what the verse of the Quran reminds me, right? I took notes of it while I'm studying. That's what I get from it. So 10 years later, it changes. It's quite normal. You study biology at the level of middle school. When you go to college, your understanding of biology changes. That is quite human.
Right. So if
Can anyone interpret the Quran, or is there a minimum requirement of knowledge?
It is a classical question, I understand. It's quite a classical question. You interpret the Quran according to your capacity, you are responsible for it. That's it.
So I'm able to read and reflect the idea.
Well, of course, even you read from other scholars, or you listen to the teacher, you can understand the teacher as much as. Yeah, but it's inevitable. Well, we have to be realistic. So you cannot interpret the Quran. Of course, I'm not making it a universal declaration that the Quran says this. I say to all the scholars, what they say, what I understood from the Quran is this, what I understand. No one can say, in fact, we say Allah says in the Quran, it's wrong. What I understood from the text of the Quran, I understand from this verse, this one. What we are doing here, what we understand. We are not saying the meaning that we discussed here is the only meaning in the Quran. I don't know. That's what I understand. So this is my view, this your view, this your view, whatever. By definition, you cannot claim that in order to be able to say that I understood it perfectly, it means you are God, speaker. Impossible. No, of course, in any matter, we have to understand that absolutism, the perfectionism is wrong. We are always subject to improvement. Always. Well, some people study more than you and I. Okay, we'll listen to them, benefit from them, but never forget that you can benefit from the book, from the person who knows as much as, sorry, your capacity. You cannot get exactly what the professor said. You can learn from him as much as your capacity. Otherwise, you take a secondary school student, middle school student, put it in college, and sit in the biology class and listening to the professor. And as you are listening to the professor, does he understand as you do, the normal student? No. So by reading the most famous scholar, or the really not famous, only authoritative scholar, you can understand and benefit from it only as much as you are ready for it. So always improve yourself. Always improve yourself. We have to continuously work on ourselves. And there is no end.
So if this is a given fact, or it is a given fact that there's always room for improvement, now I want to bring, I guess, the notion of death into this, that if I take my existence to be eternal, but yet the opportunity to continue to enhance enhance the interpretation of this, of my reality is going to cease at one point, how can I say that this guidance is then for my existential concerns eternally?
Well, you cannot say eternally, but you can feel comfortable, you can feel secure, you can have a confidence in your conclusion, as far as not imitation, as far as your needs are met with these answers at your capacity. At that moment, yeah. So, for example, let's say if you teach a primary school student something to do with mathematics, What you teach him, he understands, he or she understands within your capacity, and she says, what? I learned. But we know that she learned or knew as much as her capacity allowed her. So we have to develop always and keep questioning, keep bothering ourselves, what's going on in this world, what's happening now, what is happening now. Every day, every moment, try to make it a lifestyle for yourself. Otherwise, as I told you, there are two ways. Either ignore it completely or lose yourself in practical side of religion. I did. I never missed my prayer. I never missed my fasting. For example, I pay zakat if I have some property, or wealth. And I don't know, I went on pilgrimage, Hajj. And, I'm a perfect man. And then you can cheat yourself like this. Two extremes. So my fear is in this audience, I don't think anyone will say, I will ignore it, none of my business. Otherwise, this person wouldn't hear. My fear is we fall into what? Practical side of religion, and I'm done. Feeling that I'm done. What else do you want? I prayed 5 times a day, even the tahajjud that makes 6. Yeah. Not only Ramadan, but also Monday and Thursday. It's very fashion. People love it. Yeah. And then I'm done. Everything. I'm not stealing. I'm not telling a lie. And I'm done. Do you see what I mean? And feeling comfortable there without noticing what we are losing. Just cheating ourselves. Really. Cheating ourselves. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't do those things. We shouldn't do those things. For example, if a person registered in the class, he's in the roster, and he says, I'm a student, I've got a card, all right? Who shows the card, student card, all right? And there's a class, okay? I went there, I was present, right? And I was in the class from the beginning to the end, perfectly, I'm present there, but never realized what is going on in the class. Never learned anything in the class. So if we are careful, for example, I prayed. What did you do? For example, did you pray? This is Maghrib prayer, 3 rakah, okay? Did you do the requirements? What are they? What they are? Reading the requirement of saying Allahu Akbar and Fatiha and Ruku and Sujud. These are the main requirements, all right? In the Sujud, what you do is not the main requirement at all. You can go to Sujud and say nothing. Okay, I'm done this. It means I was in the class, right? I was in the class. What did you learn? It means when you pray, when you fast, what did you learn? Which kind of education that your human side feelings received? Which kind of experience you had? Otherwise, like that student in the example, I was in the class, and at the end of the semester, there is a test. This is human relationship. In the test, you get F. And you go to the professor, look, I never missed your class. I never missed your prayer. You ask me that I have to pray 5 times a day. I all did this. So why do you tell me that you have not learned anything? Because we don't do the religious actions in order to train ourselves. We don't know that. But we just look at the books, which tells in order to perform your prayer or fasting, these are the requirements, okay? Minimum requirements. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this according to the fiqh rules. What is that? Your prayer or your fasting is accepted. Because while you are praying, did you turn your face away from Qibla? No. Did you say Fatiha? Yes, I did. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. What did I say? What does it mean for me? And which kind of feelings I experienced? No, nothing. I was in the class. I never missed the class. Do you understand? What did you learn? How did you develop yourself? Even 10 years, 20 years, you go to class, but don't learn from the professor. Your being in the class is nothing. We don't realize this. They don't teach us. They say, look, did you pray? Did you have your wudu before prayer? Yeah, I did. Okay. And did you turn away from Qibla? No. Did you say Fatiha? It is requirements, you know. Did you say Fatiha? Say. Yes, I did. Did you do me ruku, sujud, whatever, bowing, prostration? Yes, I did. Okay. You are done. Your prayer is okay, and you are done. You will be rewarded. But if you read some hadiths, not many though, in the verbal expression of the Prophet, he says, if you do this and then pray, I'm not going to explain it because it's the physical thing. And pray 2 rak'ah, and the Prophet what to say? But pray 2 rak'ah prayer without swerving your mind. Swerving your mind. All your previous sins are obliterated, deleted. I really believe that. That's true. Because God promises in the Quran that He is going to treat me with my best action. That's my best action. Previous ones are not the best ones, so forget about them. Do you understand? That is deleted. But, okay, pray without swerving your mind. That's one word, 2 words there. How can I do that? Am I doing that? Well, it means prayer is what? Worshipping. Acknowledging you, what you are, and the one you are presenting your reality to. That's what I am. Because you cannot really say, God, I am in front of you, right? Don't ignore me, take my picture. So in the hereafter, I will show it as an evidence. No. Your position in the world before your creator. But you cannot imagine the creator. It means you can concentrate on who you are while you are praying, fasting, whatever the actions you are doing. Especially when you go on Hajj, it's the most difficult worship or regular worship, if you like, prescribed worship. You will be 3 days in Ihram, completely forget about your everything else but your own reality. I am nothing. I am myself. I am nothing. I own nothing. I am half naked. Do you know that? Ihram is half naked. Yeah? You wear something underneath and on one side, you cannot close 2 sides. It means you are naked, man. You cannot claim anything. Do you understand this? No, everybody looks in vacuum. In Hajj, you cannot have a special appearance at all, half naked. What does it mean? That's ihram. You are haram to anything else but yourself. Wow, man, it's very difficult. It's very difficult for me to go on Hajj. Very difficult. Okay, but when you look at the religious books, what they say, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. This is the conditions of Hajj, and your Hajj is accepted. But the Prophet says, it's very interesting, when you perform your Hajj, after performing and finishes, you become as if newly born baby. How can be? I am the same. I am not a newly born baby. It means I haven't performed Hajj. Yeah, I have been on a journey or a touristic visit. Okay, it's not. It's not easy, but it shouldn't be a disappointing thing for us. But we have to know that what the culture presents us in the name of religion is the shell of the religion, nothing else. We have to go into deep by ourselves. That's what we are trying to establish. This, how are we going to do that here? As a human being, not as a Muslim, as a human being. Questioning human being. One more, it is difficult. All the verses are not easy at all because of the concepts. You notice that we study concepts, right? For example, we study the concept here, Buddha. Yeah? Guidance. Now we are coming another one. I think it is easier because we touched upon it before. وَإِنَّ لَنَا لِلْآخِرَةَ وَالْأُولَى. Now, and surely to us alone belongs to this life, Ula, the present life, and Akhirah. Now we have to concentrate it. What is Akhirah? What is Akhirah? It says the next and the next life. What's next life? What is akhir? What is akhir? Akhir. What comes afterwards? The result. Yeah. For example, why do you do this? What is the objectives of this? This akhir. I have worked on this in order to make a building here, and I did it. That's akhir of your work. What is akhir of your life? What is akhir of this? Is akhir comes next. It means if you do something. If I see you on the street, what I say, you are walking. I said, where are you going? That's your destination. In order to reach that one, you are walking. That place, you are walking. This is the akhir of your walk. The destination. Right? Any action, any day, any moment must have an akhir. What is the purpose of today? You live it today. I live it today. What was your objectives? To live it, for your living, for your life, for today. What was your objectives? What did you want to achieve for today? That's the akhir of your work, your life today. You understand? It's completely different notion, akhir. But if you think of the whole of your life span, when I die, what is the akhir of my death? It comes there. But every time we have to ask the akhir of everything we do. What, for example, you are doing this. I don't know, but I'm going to school. For example, going to school. Why do you go to school? I get a degree. All right. What? This is your akhir of you going to school. Eh? And another question comes. What is the akhir of getting a degree? What is the objective of getting a degree? I'll get a job. What is the akhir of getting a job? Akhir, as akhir. It means what is your objectives? Yeah. The Quran says, وَإِنَّ لَنَا. Yeah. This, it says, surely to us alone, but you can understand this lena. Those who knows Arabic, lena. Yes. Lena means for us. For us. It means the akhir must be for my sake. Do you understand? For example, you say, I am doing this li. This lena is because of the Arabic usage of lena. Otherwise, li nahnu. Or li Allah, because na means we. We means in the Quran, God. So lillah. So we can read it in this way, in Arabic way, وَإِنَّ لِلَّهِ لَلْآخِرَةِ وَالْأُولَى. This next lal, it is the confirmation, definitely so. Inna requires lal, yeah, li. That is different, but the details of Arabic grammar. So forget about the la, because inna. So, لِلَّهِ الْآخِرَةِ Lillahi al-akhirata, but because in it makes sense. Let me make it a simple Arabic language. Al-akhiratu wal-ula lillah. Simple Arabic.
Can you also translate that simple Arabic?
Simple Arabic, akhirat, the akhir of something, and the beginning of that thing. For example, you start the school, this is the ula. Akhir is getting the degree. Must be lillah, for Allah. It means to reach Allah. In order to understand that, for example, it's typically with a very simple example, you left home in order to come to New York, to Manhattan, to the class. All right. So you're leaving home and taking a bath or driving, whatever, and coming to the class must be lillah, for God. What do you mean by, what do we mean by God? Oh, for the sake of God, I am doing it. No. This is a very misleading understanding of for the sake of God. We have to do all this in order to get to know God better, reach Him. Another expression of the Quran is fi sabilillah, in the path, in the way of Allah, which means you will take a path, and this path will take you to God. It means introduce God to yourself. As a result of this simple action, your aim is to become more and more aware of the Creator. To become more aware of it. That is what you are doing, whatever you do. The action itself and the objective of the action together must take you to acknowledgement, to realizing of God. It means becoming aware of your existence, origin of your existence. Who is the one? What is the one who gave me existence? Which kind of thing? So that I will understand that I am His production. Because we are conscious beings, we are not machines. So the more you realize who you are, the more you realize your origin of existence. So all the actions must be, the action itself, the life, which is translated as this life, al-ula, what comes first, right? And akhir means the end result of this work. Akhir, the end result. For example, let's say you are taking notes. Why do you take notes? While you are taking notes, ula, the purpose of taking notes, maybe you go revise it, maybe you will think about it, akhir. These two actions must aim at acknowledging your creator for yourself. For yourself. Eh? Do you understand that this is different? I know it is different from what you keep hearing. But we have to go into the real teaching of the Quran. That's what I understand as much as we can, as much as we can. Otherwise, this life belongs to God. Yeah, surely to us alone belong this life and the next. Oh, next life belongs to God as well. Okay, both lives belongs to God. Good for him. He has everything. Now, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do with this word? This verse? Do you understand this? If you understand it in a classical way or the tradition, the cultural way, let's call it. Not that there are serious people, they are really making good sense of this. But you know what the culture presents us? It's irrelevant to me. The life belongs to God, and the akhirah, afterlife, next life, hereafter belongs to God. Okay. What shall I do? Do you understand? So everything belongs to him. Okay, what am I supposed to do here? All right. He's very rich, Ghani. It's called Ghani. So it's very rich. He doesn't need anything. Okay, well, all right. All right. What is it to do with me? So what shall I do? I belong to him. Here he created me. I know. I admit that. I really confirm that. I'm created by God, the one who created the universe. Okay. So what? You learn nothing in your practical life. You just say that, okay, everything belongs to God. All right. So what? For you. For you. What are you going to do with this information? Is it disappointing? A little bit? No, because we have to understand what really my take from this verse as far as my security, confidence in my existence. As far as my security, my confidence in my existence is concerned, I should feel, yeah, that is why I exist. It is worth it. We have to be on the path to God. It means on the path to God, the way you take should end up with acknowledging your Creator. It's difficult. It is not difficult to live in this way, but it is difficult just because we have not received any education, any training like this. Externalizing, really, even we externalize the Quranic teaching. God is like this. So, shall I? God has power to do everything. Okay. What shall I do? He's a very powerful being. Okay. What shall I do? External. These are very serious problems. Very serious. External. It has nothing to do with me. There is something like that, describing him, let's say, I don't know many names. So Muhammad Ali was a very powerful or very, really successful boxer. Okay? What shall I do? What shall I do? Unless internalize it, unless refer to your own reality. Try to understand from your perspective. You read the Quran as a source of external information for you, and what you do, okay, God is all powerful, but I have to go and work. Yeah. Since He is all powerful, why do you work? Let Him do it for you. He's all powerful. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Externalizing the revelation does not work. So you can make it internal, saying that, look, this life and not the next, the end of this life, the end result of this life, the purpose of this life, objectives of this life must be for God. It means try to get to know who your creator is. Of course, you are not going to take a path and we'll take you to the palace where God sits there. For your reality. If you want to understand God, what is the short way of understanding God? Yourself. Understand yourself. Understand what is the meaning that you are extracting from this creation, from your existence, etc. They are all introduction to God. Because we said two polar relationship is always complementary. The more we realize that I am needy in every sense, starting from my existence, filling my stomach, and having a secure life in this world, right? Not security in existence is different. Secure life in this world. The more we realize who we are, the more we realize how much we are needy. How much we are needy. The better you realize the one who provides it. So you don't know. By saying God is all powerful is nothing. Some people should not hear this. What do you mean for nothing? Acknowledging that God is all powerful. For you, it means nothing. It's external knowledge. So get to know yourself. Read the Quran in order to know yourself. How do you understand this? How the people study this kind of things, but very rare people, when they say, and surely to us alone belong to this life and the next, they ask the first question, what does it mean for me? Mm-hmm. Everything belongs to Him, so what should I do? Yeah, let's say a rich man or more powerful man has this kind of facilities, half of New York belongs to him. Okay, what shall I? Yeah. What does it mean for me as far as my existence is concerned? Almost nothing. So we have to train, inshallah. Inshallah, we have to train how to read the Quran. Yeah. So, فَأَنذَرْتُكُمْ نَارًا تَلَظَّىٰ. Shall we stop? Okay. That is a little bit. Again, we have to come here. Now, in the first verse we studied today, the key word was guidance. In the second word, akhirah. Yeah, objectives, end result of your life, your endeavors, your strivings, the end of your striving. Otherwise, if you really look at our practical life end of our striving always comes to a dead end, we die in riches. Right? But never forget, but I did my religious duties. Okay. But don't forget this example. When Allah sent this example to me, a student goes to class but doesn't understand, doesn't listen to professor, what he says, and develop his capacity, doesn't learn, it means. Okay, he's in the class, okay. Like that. He doesn't really learn, so that step by step, his abilities will become better qualities, right? But if you don't really improve your qualities by being in the class, your being in the class is meaningless. You understand? So if you don't really benefit from your prayers, from your actions, from your supplications, etc., in order to develop your abilities, to be aware of what you are, who you are, accordingly and automatically, be careful about this word, automatically you are describing your creator, becoming aware of him. For example, if you have a blister is it? On your tongue. Sorry?
On lip?
On the lip.
On the lip, cold sore.
I don't know the word.
Cold sore.
Cold sore.
Cold sore.
Blisters also,
A
right?
blister.
Ulcer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what you do?
Get on the lips.
It hurts. You cannot eat.
Oh, yeah.
You can really, it really disturbs you a lot. I said, I need my lip without any blister. Yeah, who you are. Look at this. I need my heart work perfectly. My lungs and my kidney is perfectly. Go and ask people when they have a kidney pain, they go crazy because the kidney has some stone in it, one stone, small stone. They cannot bear it. May Allah protect all of us, inshallah. It's so painful. I need my kidneys without any stone blocked them. Can you list your needs? Get to the end? Yeah, everything is provided. So, for example, if you have a flu or something that you cannot breathe through your nose, you cannot sleep. You know, when you open your mouth, you cannot sleep. Yeah, come on, this nose must be open. You need it. So you cannot get really the end of your needs. Why? Because you cannot get the qualities, the favor, the compassion of your creator, because it doesn't have an end. That's the opposite. But you cannot think about God. You cannot talk about God, but you can talk about yourself. So it is very famous saying, since there's the brother here who knows Arabic, "Man arafa nafsah faqad arafa rabbah." Who knows his reality himself, that's how he knows his Lord. If you don't know yourself, if I don't know myself, I wouldn't know my creator. By saying creator is like this, it is just a rhetoric. You have to know yourself that he is the all-powerful one. That will be your conclusion. Otherwise, saying God is all-powerful, it's not real. It's not realistic. Did you say that you have a question?
Yeah,
okay, let's conclude
keep it
this.
short. So earlier we described akhirah as the beginning of what has just ended. basically,
Beginning?
of what has just ended. Basically, the moment that succeeds or supersedes like the moment that's just gone by. And with this understanding, I understand this life to be that moment which exists before its own afterlife or before its own akhirah, which basically means that again, this life is also a moment which exists after the previous moment that's gone by.
Yeah. Okay.
So with this understanding, are we not always existing in akhirah?
Yeah.
Or, right?
Of course, every day has an end. Every moment has an end. So every time we breathe, I mean, it is a little bit idealistic. So we breathe, and then another time I need to breathe again. I'm needed. Yeah, atmosphere must be ready, air must be ready for me. But who's providing it? What's the relationship? So you get to know that your creator is always with you, providing your needs, present in your life. But not only through air, for everything, through everything. So, inshallah, we shouldn't lose ourselves, or I use this word a lot because it seems to be the reality, what's going on, cheat ourselves by using big, flashy, flowery language about God, not knowing who you are. It's nothing. Disappointing, huh? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Sorry?
Do you want to make any announcements? Time discussions next class for the people that live stream.
11 o'clock? Is there any change? No. But we will do, inshallah, for a time, for some weeks, we will start at 7 o'clock as well as possible, inshallah, have a break for Maghrib prayer and continue. Saturday is at 11 o'clock. So, as usual, here in the same class, inshallah, let's work on it. And at least we should feel the need for it. Well, that is what I am expected to learn from the Quran, not imitate the Quran. God says, I am the greatest. Okay? As if I am God speaking as a lawyer or advocate for him. Yeah, you are the great. No, it must be accomplished. Inshallah, if we learn this, that's enough. When we study the Quran, we will look for it. It takes time, of course. But at least we will be at least a primary school student of the Quran. At least we have to admit that, so that you can be a secondary school or middle school student, and then a high school student. Yeah? But if you don't start the primary school education, you go nowhere. Start, inshallah, as much as you can. It's not difficult, but change your view and expectations. Don't imitate. Don't imitate. That's very important. Thank you. Inshallah, see you next Saturday, coming Saturday and Wednesday, if you cannot make it. Assalamu alaikum.